Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your neighborhood Eldritch Dragon Enigmas here, and something incredible actually just happened while I was messing around on Duelyst 2. It's been a while since I played, I haven't played since December. I've meddled a bit here and there since January, but I think it's been at least a solid 2 months since I've touched the game. So I came back, and I decided to make a Vanar deck because Vanar's my main, but I feel like they really struggle in this beta. And something amazing happened. As you can see here, I got matched while I'm in Silver Division with the number 11 ranked S rank player. Okay, so let's take a look at how this game went. I'll talk you through it, and then I'll show you the deck at the very end. But this was a fascinating match, I thought, and potentially bodes well for the deck I made. So this is an arcanyst Vanar deck. Chromatic Cult's going to be good in case this is a obelisk Vetruvian, which is pretty common. We'll see what they play. Really what I would like is to be able to ramp into a Sajj with a 1 or 0 mana spell to get some buffs going, and look at that, we replace into the Sajj, which is perfect. So now we can play the Sajj, and we can also remove their Mana Forger. I'm not sure why they're playing it, but I don't want to give Vetruvian any cheap spells. And here I make a misplay, I think. I think I should have punched this Imperial Mechanist. Or sorry, it's called an Imperial Saboteur now. That way, even if Edmund Dantes would have used First Wish on the Imperial Saboteur, it still would have died to my Mana Forger. But since I didn't do that, instead I still have to end up dealing with this Saboteur, and he dispelled my Sajj, which is no big deal because I actually get to deal with his Portal Guardian for basically free. We use Alsu and Loremasters not just because he's an arcanist, but also because we're trying to really abuse the good Vanar spells. So, I'm not sure if I should have hit here. I felt like it was better than just letting him get an Entropic Decay for his 0 damage or something. So I punched him, and he ended up taking another 4. So he took 8 damage from, they took 8 damage from my Albeast. Which honestly, that's all I can really ask for. And as you can see, they're already low on health, they're already running low on cards, and they don't really have a force on the board to reckon with. I replace the Twilight Sorcerer because I don't need 2, and unfortunately, I draw into a second aspect of the mountains. So I just decide to punch the Lady Luck, and play the Twilight Sorcerer to see what I get. I get a Chromatic Cold. That's going to be helpful in the future, probably. So we punch the Portal Guardian here, so that way, if it attacks my Twilight Sorcerer, it dies, and it no longer has Frenzy, so it would be kind of weird for it to punch me in the face for only 1 damage whenever I have a big beefy boy on the board. And so our opponent plays another Imperial Saboteur, really trying to mess with our minions here, deny us the ability to have efficient trades. Oh, the one card you can't see is Hailstone Prison. So here, it's just an easy aspect of the mountains. They played right into it, and now we get to clear their whole board, and we still have pretty big threats. Now here, I probably should have played the Elemental in front of me to avoid Star's Fury. But it wouldn't have played around Bone Swarm anyway. And that's one thing that I actually find is really tough to deal with now, with Vetruvian, is they have Bone Swarm, so you kind of don't want things to be played near you. They have Star's Fury, so you don't want to spread things out. But then they have Blast, so you don't want to put things on the same row. And now they also have Entropic Decay, which hits the same row. So you never really want to swarm and surround Vetruvian. I think it's just kind of hard to play around all of Vetruvian's mechanics. If you play around Blast and Entropic Decay, then you're automatically setting yourself up for Star's Fury. If you try to play around Star's Fury, then you just get absolutely destroyed by Blast and Entropic Decay. So I'm not sure if I made the correct play here or not, but it'll probably end up working out. The key thing is that our opponent's low on life, they're low on cards, and here we are at 7 mana, and the biggest threat they're developing is a mana forger, plus they're probably going to play something else, but it's not going to be too hard to deal with. So they play another Orb Weaver, that's not too bad. And then here's Inner Oasis, so that tells me that this is supposed to be like a Zoo Vetruvian. And now Blind Scorch here is really good, allows them to punch for free. And here, I thought for a while about what I should do. I replace a card, and in my mind I'm going through, okay, I could play Twilight Sorcerer, try to get something back. I didn't replace into an Albi Sage, so that's not going to be useful. There's nothing here that I really want to Hailstone, but that's good to hang on to for later in case he plays like an Imara healer, or there's just some big boy that I need to get rid of. And I want to hold on to this Mesmerize, which is actually the change I think made it super useful. It basically gives Faye back it gives any of Vanar back Warbird, which, I mean, I personally missed. I know a lot of people hated it, but Warbird spam was just so fun in my mind. So Mesmerize is kind of cool because it gives you it's like the old Chromatic Cold back in OG Duelyst Beta. You remember that? I think in OG Duelyst Beta it used to attack a column, deal 1 damage and stun everything in that column, if I remember correctly, or something like that. If you're an OG Duelyst veteran, let me know. But anyway, I thought about what to do for a while here. I also thought, I could back up, play Healing Mystic, and then play, excuse me, Aspect of the Mountain. I could clear all this, but then that leaves me with a 0-1 Elemental, and there's going to be a 5-1 next turn, and I would have a 5-5 here, but wouldn't it be better if I could make this last longer? That was my thought anyway. So I decided just to Aspect my Elemental. That way it cleared all the Orb Weavers, so his Oasis ended up doing nothing for him. Sorry, their Oasis ended up doing nothing for them. Then we get to clear the Mana Forger for basically free, and I get to keep applying pressure into their face by punching them. So again, basically my plan here is just consistently keep the board removed, or clean, because they're low on cards, and the fewer things that they get to stick on the board, the less likely they're going to have a chance, or the less likely they're going to be able to come back and punish me for it. So now they finally, after 2 Aspect of the Mountains, they start playing around it. And honestly, for a moment here, I thought about just absolutely trolling them and moving forward, playing Healing Mystic and doing another Aspect of the Mountains and just wiping out everything. But then I thought, okay, hold on. Can we pressure our opponent in any way? And I decide that we can. We can actually just keep punching our opponent in the face. We can play Healing Mystic, and we can stall for some time. I want to heal because, Vetruvian can have some crazy burst, so I play Mesmerize because it kills an Orb Weaver and it also stuns their Healing Mystic. So now they can't efficiently trade into my Healing Mystic, and they definitely don't want to take damage. Now this move here surprised me. I mean, I gotta give them credit. It was probably their only chance of actually surviving, but I was very surprised that they just YOLO'd Time Maelstrom and took 5 damage going down to 2, considering that Vanar has so many ways to deal 2 damage. But they have an extra turn, so I know I'm not out of it yet. They probably have Second Wish or something, or they're gonna have some way to be super annoying. Maybe they have Emerald Rejuvenator. They play a Rocky Headhunter. I don't really think they have anything with opening Gambit besides Healing Mystic and Orb Weaver. Oh, they have Imperial Saboteur as well. Alright, so basically our opponent here is just trying to spam. Remember how I said earlier that our opponent's basically a Zoo deck? And this is further proof. They're just trying to dump out a bunch of dudes, get big value with Inner Oasis, and just overwhelm opponents with cheap, extraordinarily tough dudes. Unfortunately, we have a third Aspect of the Mountains, and they just absolutely keep insisting on incentivizing us to play it. Now, I should probably try to replace here into a Chromatic Cold. I don't get it. And I don't think I'm going to get Chromatic Cold from Twilight Sorcerer, so I decided to just play it safe. Again, they now have 4 cards, so that means I really need to clear the board, because I want them to empty out their resources and constantly have to rebuild every turn. And now they also have... So see here they use Star's Fury. Let's see. Had I moved down, that wouldn't have really made a difference. I mean, they're still probably going to play Star's Fury, just going to be a little bit worse. And then now they finally have the Healing Mystic. So now, they're not going to die to a Chromatic Cold. Unless I plays into it. So I have Sunseer, did nothing this match, and so now I'm thinking, alright, let's just clean things up. And here I make a mistake. Remember how at the beginning of the video I was talking about how you need to play around Entropic Decay and Blast and Star's Fury? Here I wasn't exactly thinking straight anyway. I was just like, okay, I need to pressure him to where he can't run away, I need to pressure them so they can't run away into the corner. So if I have a guy here, then you know they have to completely block themselves off. Whereas if I played Twilight Sorcerer here, they would still have to block everything off. So yeah, this was just a general misplay, not only because it plays into Entropic Decay, but also because could have just played it here and controlled all of these squares. But instead, we only controlled this many squares. So we gave up control of basically 3 extra squares by putting our Twilight Sorcerer here. But anyway, once again, I'm just trying to clear the board. So I stun that to get rid of it, punch that, and with only a Primus Fist on board, I'm fairly confident that they can't burst me out of hand with only 3 cards. And here our opponent punishes us for playing into Entropic Decay. But luckily, we still have a full hand, and now they're down to 2. Now they're down to 1 card. And this Portal Guardian's basically never going to see value, because the amount of cards that they have now is going to make it hard for that Portal Guardian to get swole, as it were. So once again, I see they're down to 2 cards, so I'm like, okay, all I gotta do is clear the board and keep applying pressure. Although now, I am getting pretty low on health. So that's another reason why I need to make sure that they have nothing on board, so that way they have to fight for every bit of damage. With 2 cards in hand, Star's Fury plus the Dervish guy, 4, 5, 6, he would still be 2 off. And now, they play the Rasha's Curse. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe they had some sort of plan that they could draw into to deal 6 damage. And here, we just seal the deal. I'm like, alright, they have 2 cards. I have a big boy. Now, let me just develop, block off some Star's Fury value, heal, to make it even harder for them to burst me. And now, just in case they have some sort of crazy combo wombo planned, I'm going to Chromatic Cold the Iraqi Headhunter. That way there are no crazy combos with that. And now we draw the finisher of Beast plus Polarize, and our opponent conceded because with 2 cards they could not stop our overwhelming force. And so that is how I defeated a number 11 S-rank player. Now, as I said, I've been gone for a while, so I don't know what the meta is in S-rank, but even if that wasn't a meta deck, that person is ranked number 11 in S-rank, so even if they were playing a terrible deck, they would still be a force to reckon with. So really quickly, here's the arcanyst deck. The goal is to play cheap spells plus powerful spells, try to abuse Mana Forger, and then abuse the cycling of Alston Loremaster and Twilight Sorcerer, so that way we essentially never run out of removal. So we've got Flash Freeze, Polarity, Chromatic Cold, Hailstone Prison, Healing Mystic, Hearth Sister. I just realized Hearth Sister and Healing Mystic are the only non-Arcanist in here. Nice. Then of course Mana Forger. Mana Forger is actually surprisingly clutch. Getting to cast a 1-mana Mesmerize or a 1-mana Chromatic Cold and Hailstone Prison, that really helps even out the curve. But then also in Lore Master not only helps us recycle our own spells, but also lets us get super awesome spells from our opponents. And in the in the replay you saw that I had Sunseer. I changed it for prismatic illusionist because I never really felt like there was a good time to play Sunseer, and I didn't really feel like he did anything. Personally, I think prismatic illusionist is a terrible card, but at least it generates value the second it hits the board. That's why I have it. It feels better to play prismatic illusionist plus a 1 or 0 cost spell to get at least something out of it than it does to play a Sunseer and get nothing out of it. Especially if you played on Sunseer on turn 1 and the enemy general just punches it, then you're not even getting that healing. So it doesn't really seem worth it. Owlbeast, despite the nerfs and the changes in the new Duelyst, giving a bunch of health to your arcanyst makes for efficient trading. Twilight Sorcerer, you saw their value, and that last match gave me 4, maybe 5 Aspect of the Mountains, and that literally won me the game. So the 2 cards you might not be able to see are Twilight Sorcerer, Aspect of the Mountains. So yeah, that's the deck, and that is how I defeated the number 11 ranked player in Duelyst 2. Thank you so much for watching. As always, this has been your neighborhood cosmic dragon, Enigmes, seeking all the most fascinating and eccentric minds to devour in the cosmos. Let me know if you have a succulent mind in the comments below, and you might be visited by nightmares. Glorious visions of my grotesque amazingness. Because look at me. How could you not celebrate having a dream about this? Why? Because that is just what eldritch beings do. Have a good day, everyone.